I'm Ross Kemp, and last summer I did something I hadn't done for nearly a decade. I went back to the set of EastEnders.
The problem is now, I don't actually know where I'm going.
It's back this way.
It's back this way. EastEnders Studio A.
I played notorious hard man and lover, Grant Mitchell. Since I was last here, Albert Square has been knocked down, moved and rebuilt, which is why I'm having a little trouble finding it.
Oh, God. It looks amazing. Hello.
Welcome back.
Rona, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Oh, I'm all right. You?
Lovely to see you.
You look lovely.
How about this?
All right, I couldn't find it. It's sort of like...
It's in a different place.
That's why I couldn't find it.
Isn't it fabulous?
It looks like it's just been picked up and dropped.
Exactly, but it's real brick. Not your plastic.
What, like your wood that rots?
No, yeah.
Or the doors that wobble?
Or the chimneys
walls that wobble.
Yeah. There's no wobbling here. Come and have a look round.
I've come back to find out the impact EastEnders has had on us over the last 40 years. How it's got us talking about difficult subjects and reflected our changing society.
Bring back memories?
Yes. Thousands. Trying to get a car around that at speed.
Yeah.
Watch out for the girl, watch out for the girl. Yeah, all right, dip your clutch. Will you take it easy?
Still the only place in London with no parking restrictions, I notice. Real brick.
Proper brick.
Real brick. Had a few emotional scenes here. A few emotional scenes everywhere.
That's what a soap opera's about.
That's right.
And here it is, my old workshop.
Jeez. Mitchell's Autos, specialising in crashes, not necessarily repairs. I can feel Grant Mitchell on my shoulder. All I need to do is put on a black leather jacket, a pair of too tight jeans, and I'd start to worry who I was going to hit, what I was going to set fire to, and who I was going to have an overcomplicated relationship with.
EastEnders burst into our front rooms on February the 19th, 1985. Ever since, it's been serving up colourful characters.
What have you got me down as, some sort of pilchard?
Unforgettable storylines.
Hope you all enjoyed the fireworks.
And amazing drama.
You ain't my mother! Yes, I am!
You know what they say about turning 40? It's time for a period of reflection. And while EastEnders changed my life and the lives of people who worked on the show, both in front of the camera and behind it, after 40 years of being one of the biggest programmes on television, I want to find out what impact EastEnders has had on Britain. Queen Vic, I set fire to that once. Number 45, home of the Beales, one of EastEnders' most iconic families who were here when it first started in 1985.
Here we are. Thanks, Mum.
It's when viewers first met Kathy Beale, her fruit and veg stall, and her teenage son, Ian.
Typical Beales, always leaving the back door open. Adam, Gilly?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Where's Adam?
Where is he?
Behind you!
Good to see
I went
you, mate.
upstairs. Wait. As if it would be back here.
Weird.
Yes. Oh.
Gillian Taylforth plays Kathy. Adam Woodyatt plays her son, Ian.
Did you have any idea just how big the show was going to be?
No idea. I mean, our first contract was 6 months with a year's option.
With the year's option, so, yeah.
The show was created by Julia Smith and Tony Holland in a wine bar between Television Centre and Shepherd's Bush.
I thought the cuts worked very well, actually. But I think by making those cuts, Den is coming over, if it's possible, more unsympathetic than usual.
Julia Smith and Tony Holland had been asked by the BBC to develop a new soap opera, a hit, to rival ITV's Coronation Street.
Tony had mapped it all out.
Yeah.
I mean, he'd mapped out years ahead, and we were all based on various members of his family. I know I was based on his nephew.
Are there any similarities between the Kathy that he wrote and yourself?
Apart from coming from a big family, there's 4 girls and 1 boy in my family.
Right.
And we were born in Islington.
Yeah.
And I used to work up Chapel Street Market. My boyfriend at the time had a stall there, so Saturday and Sunday I used to help him out his stall.
It had to be recognisable characters, and that's why we had the matriarchs, because every family's got a matriarch.
Yeah.
Lou Beale.
Yeah.
That was the first character Tony came up with. How important was she?
She was, the whole show. Anna Wing, an amazing actress, lovely. And I remember she was one of those characters nobody ever stood up to her.
Where's the money coming from to feed the extra mouth? You thought of that one while you was gratifying your lust. You're out of bloody work.
For Tony and Julia, realistic characters were the most important part of EastEnders. They wanted people the audience could connect with. The first residents of Albert Square were a community of 23 people.
In the basement of the first house is the doctor's surgery. He's called Dr. Legg.
We have a male nurse, we have a girl who wants to have a career in a bank.
I'm Naima. My husband Saeed and I live upstairs. We also run the food store, which is just around the corner.
I'm Saeed. This is my shop. There's my cat, which Sue runs. Here's my cat.
Characters from all walks of life, just like the real East End.
And I told my granddad and my nanny, and I just went, I've got this part, granddad. And my granddad said, don't watch it, watch Emmerdale. I thought, lovely, been lost to a load of sheep, lovely. How'd you like?
But 17 million viewers did tune in to watch the first episode, including some real EastEnders in a real East End pub.
Oh, stinks in here, doesn't it? Rich, he's dead. Dead drunk. No, he's dead.
It started with... Who kicked the door? Was it Les?
Leslie.
It was Les, wasn't it? It was Den
and Arthur.
boots in the door, and they go in and they find Reg Cox dead.
He could have been here like this ever since he's been missing. We didn't notice anything. Who does, son? He's a cantankerous old man. Den, go and get the doc quick. Right. And the best thing you can do is go and get dressed.
Oh, right. What do you think made it so different from the other programmes?
I think people could identify with it more. There was Coronation Street, there was Emmerdale, Crossroads, but we were the sort of like the slightly rougher ones.
Yeah.
And I think a lot more people managed to identify with that.
Natural, the people are natural, the way they talk, things that happen in everyday life.
In the actual East End, the locals loved it.
Wicked. In the tub.
I mean, it brought up problems about pregnancy, getting on with relations, parents, which is a lot of problems, unemployment, things like that. So it's very good to show that.
It took on subjects other soaps weren't tackling.
From day one. But we've done it from 85 to now. It's just, it is almost like the thread that runs through the programme, isn't it?
It's hard to believe that a popular success can be built on unemployment, drugs, old age, teenage pregnancy, prostitution, depression, murder, blackmail. But I've cheered you enough.
But not everyone was a fan.
Totally unsuitable for family viewing time. Full of
lying, cheating, blackmail, infidelity.
I always thought what the audience liked about EastEnders was the hard-hitting and often controversial storylines.
And I think that's why people are still talking about it today. EastEnders over the years has dared to take audiences to places other soaps wouldn't go.
One of the subjects the show has never shied away from is LGBT+ relationships.
Hello.
Hello, Balvinda. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you, Ross?
I'm all right. This is all very new, isn't it?
No.
New to me.
Well, yeah.
New to Grant.
Yeah, it's new to Grant. Well, this is EastEnders' first gay bar. Can you imagine that? I mean, look at the pictures on the wall. I love them.
Balvinda Sopal plays Suki Panesar.
Do you understand me? I will kill you, and I will enjoy every second of it.
Why would I care? I'm already dying.
Not fast enough.
Manipulative, sharp-tongued and quick-tempered, she's one of the show's new generation of matriarchs.
Tell me about Suki.
Suki Kaur Panesar is a Punjabi wife, mother, lover. She's very Machiavellian and manipulative and cunning. Suki likes to run her family with an iron fist. You know, she's like mafia boss. She's the head of the house. And what she says goes.
This game of yours ends here.
This game ends when I say it does. The Panesars have been given the same kind of importance and the same sort of prominence as people like the Mitchells or the Slaters. We're not just a token family. I also think perhaps it's a different time now, right? Before, we'd see a Sikh doctor just walk past. We'd be calling our friends up and neighbours up and just going, did you see? Now it's not that. It's like people talk about us as part of EastEnders, you know, we're not just the Asian family.
And one of Suki's major storylines has seen this previously married mother of 4 become an inspiration to viewers.
And this is me.
This is us.
She is somebody who has found who she is, you know, a lesbian later on in life. And we don't often see those stories, do we?
So I've got something that I'd like to show you.
Eve Unwin, I love you. So will you do me the greatest honour of my life and be my wife? Well, don't leave me hanging.
Yeah, I would love to be your wife.
A bit of good news. Tracy.
I was worried playing sort of the lesbian strand of it because our communities don't talk about it so openly, you know. It's not something that we address or we want to believe happens or accept.
And what's the reaction been like?
It's been phenomenal. I found it quite daunting and overwhelming, actually. But that then made me realise that there was a real hunger for this kind of storyline, for this kind of character. People were almost begging to see it, you know, on their screens, in their living rooms, 4 days a week.
You know what happens to every marriage in EastEnders, don't you?
We're not going to think about that.
It brings me great joy to declare that from this day forward, you are legally married.
Suki's marriage to Eve was a big moment for EastEnders. It was the show's first lesbian wedding.
Groundbreaking moments on EastEnders have enjoyed enormous success. They've increased awareness, helped understanding, and encouraged public debate. And I think that's something that everybody who works on the show is rightfully proud of.
But Trailblazers haven't always had an easy ride. One character springs to mind. He arrived in August 1986.
Have you seen many properties?
A few, but nothing I've liked as much.
Called Colin, he harboured a dark secret. He was a middle-class yuppie.
Well, I think I've seen enough.
I'm on my way to meet a friend, Michael Cashman, who swapped Albert Square for Parliament Square. Michael!
Yeah.
Lord Cashman.
Oh, Michael, just one. Oh, these muscles. I'd forgotten how big. Oh, good to see you coming in.
Made a lord after a lifetime of campaigning for equality, it all began by playing Colin in EastEnders.
I got a call to go and see Julia Smith and Tony Holland, and their line was, this guy's going to come into the show and he's going to shake things up. He's a very ordinary guy. He kind of fade into the background. And she said, but, you know, every time we think of the part, we think of you, but we've been trying to cast a straight actor. And I went, what? She went, oh, yeah, he's gay.
I think it's very difficult for people now to understand the attitude towards homosexuality.
It was a weird and dark time. Illegal in certain circumstances to have a gay relationship. There was rampant homophobia.
Are you trying to tell me that you and Colin are homosexuals?
Sure, didn't you know?
No, I certainly did not. I mean, I thought you was just friends.
In the 80s, when EastEnders introduced Colin, the reaction was rather hysterical. But that was nothing compared to what came next, after the first kiss between two gay men on British television.
That kiss, I have on my phone here, that moment. Here we go. Ready?
Well, it's just as well it isn't you then, isn't it? Now, look, I don't want to get into an argument with you, but promise me you'll take the day off when I ring you lunchtime, OK? I won't know what the score is until I get there.
Now, that is a peck on the side of the head.
Yeah.
What happened when that went out?
The media went berserk. It was called a sex scene. There were calls for this kind of filth to be taken off our screens.
So far, we've had over 20 calls from viewers who thought it was disgusting. The children will not be allowed to watch it again. Absolutely disgusting. Didn't agree with it. Repugnant.
I've had people come up to me to say, I remember watching you on telly, and there was one guy, and he said, and I used to stand behind the sofa so that my mum and dad couldn't see me looking at you. And he said, and I knew I wasn't alone. It made a difference.
It was incredibly brave of EastEnders to take on a subject that most people thought was unacceptable, to be vilified in the press, yet still reach out into people's homes and change public opinion.
Over 22 million viewers watched Colin kiss Barry. It showed how a radical storyline could also be a popular one. Stories like these propelled EastEnders to huge success, and not just here in the UK.
Tonight, the nation that gave us Dallas and Dynasty can switch on to Britain's most popular soap, EastEnders.
It doesn't matter if you live in East London or South Boston. You'll get caught up in the stories of the EastEnders.
With its distinct lack of glitz and glamour, it was a soap unlike any ever seen by American audiences.
EastEnders, the most popular programme in the history of British television. Weeknights on WNYC, TV 31.
What it also has, of course, is a language barrier. And the station here has come up with a dictionary of Cockney phrases and rhyming slang. With it, viewers can cop this lot without losing their rag or going off their trolley.
The two characters used to promote the show abroad were Angie and Den Watts. They ran the Queen Vic.
Hello, Constable, come on in.
And had a dysfunctional home life.
Yeah, Sharon, you got my earrings on? No. You haven't, aren't you? I never said you could borrow them. Get them off. They're not yours. Den, you're going to do something about her? She's lying.
Caught in the middle was their adopted daughter, Sharon, who's become a much-loved resident of Albert Square.
I mean, I know I'm probably not your type, but which bit of me really turns you on, eh? Go on.
And I should know, my character Grant married her in 1991.
Let's have a drink!
So, let's go to number 43, Sharon's house. Tish?
We are walking like in a dope.
Oh, I've missed you. I wore something subtle, Ross.
I can tell.
This is Tish in the morning.
Yeah, this is exactly how I remember you, darling. You look stunning.
Do I?
Yeah.
Good surgeon. I'm joking. It's all natural.
Did you have any idea that it would see 40 years?
I think at first, Ross, it wasn't received that well, and then it literally...
Just went...
Yeah. And I think a lot of that was to do with Jen and Ange. I always remember that scene when she had a rose and he did like a fireman's lift.
He loves me not, then he doesn't love me.
Oops!
Oh, come on.
And she pointed it to his nether regions, can I say that?
Yes.
I went, who's a naughty boy then? Naughty, naughty, naughty. And everyone went, oh my gosh, TV gold. That really was a special moment, and everyone went, wow, that dynamic was incredible.
You were incredibly young, weren't you? How old were you?
I think I was 17, I think, when it first started. 16, 17. I remember my audition, and you had to be born within the sound of Bow Bells.
Yeah.
Of course I wasn't. I was from Hertfordshire, but I lied. So they were very, very authentic, and apparently I got cast for my dirty laugh. That was my first publicity card.
Wow.
And my father, it was in fashion, made that skirt for me. And that was from the first day on the lot on Albert Square.
When you look back on 40 years, is there a particular moment?
If I'm honest, Ross, I think it would be what they called Sharongate with you.
Really?
Steve and me. Yeah.
Ain't Grant back here?
I've just phoned. He's on his way.
Oh, right.
Sharongate was a classic love triangle, a slow burn story. It played out over months and months. It let the audience in on a secret that my on-screen brother Phil had slept with my wife Sharon. But it took over a year for Grant to find out.
You slept with him, remember? Phil was different. Why? He just was. In one minute I was looking at him, in the next, ripping each other's clothes off.
For me, that was like, oh my gosh, I'm trusted with a huge storyline. I mean, how many viewers did we have back then?
25 million.
25 million. It's still talked about to this day.
Yeah.
I think the best stories in this show particularly are when they are slow burners.
I'm on about our future, and it's important, so shut up and listen.
Exactly. Every time we talk about our future, I have to shut up and listen. Typical.
Dan and Angie's dysfunctional marriage was the first slow burner. Millions tuned in every week.
Anita, could you stand by in the studio, please?
Anita Dobson played Angie, Letitia's on-screen mother. In EastEnders for only 3 years, at the height of her fame, Anita was the second most photographed woman in Britain after Princess Diana.
You never really stood a chance, not with having Ben and Angie as your mum and dad, did you?
No, not really. I mean, she loved her parents equally.
Did she? Well, you didn't turn out too bad.
Anita.
Hi.
Lovely to see
Oh,
you.
Anita, I'm going to cry at you. Come on, bring it on, Bubba.
Old school. We're old school, darling. Oh, my gosh.
What's it like being with your screen daughter?
Wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. I feel very emotional.
Me too.
Very happy. She looks beautiful. I love her to bits.
Anita was like a second mum to me.
Yeah, and she's the baby girl I never had.
There's a picture here. It's Leslie, Angie, Sharon, and Rowley.
And Rowley. Rowley and Sharon look so similar.
Do you know that dog? You would say, action. He'd sit up. You say, cut.
You relax.
Yeah.
This was the first time that any British soap had taken on a storyline where a woman had a drinking issue.
Mm-hmm.
That was incredibly brave. Did you have any reservations about it?
No, not at all. I'd worked in pubs, you know, when I was at drama school to pay, you know, the money in order for me to stay there. So I'd seen publicans and their wives and the people that come in the pubs. It was liberating to show a woman that drunk, and I knew what women look like when they were drunk. It's not pretty. Or when anyone's drunk, it's not pretty. Yeah. No, I ain't going with you. I told you, you're going on your own. Now go on.
Anita's true-to-life portrayal of an alcoholic was shocking for its time. Her less than understanding on-screen husband, Den, was played by Leslie Grantham.
The relationship with Leslie, he was an incredible actor.
Yeah, he used to say, your mouth shuts, mine opens. My mouth shuts, yours opens.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And it's true.
Look, Den, I've got 1,000,001 things to do. It'll have to be some other time, OK?
Will you stop doing that and sit down?
All right. Keep your hair on.
The stars of the BBC's EastEnders soap opera picked up the trophy for the most popular personalities on British television.
Den and Angie were the most popular aspect of the show.
Well, our special guests this morning are Anita, Dobson and Leslie Grantham.
Time once more to go over to the Elstree studios, the home of EastEnders.
EastEnders is the most talked about subject in our classroom.
They turned EastEnders into a runaway success. And such was the hunger for the show and its stars that barely a year after its launch, you couldn't turn on the TV or pick up a newspaper without seeing or reading something about the cast.
I've got one today, and the headline is My Porn Film by EastEnders Star.
Do you worry about what might appear in the press about liaisons from the past and that?
No, not really. Well, most of them are dead.
EastEnders at the moment seems to sell these newspapers because the fans want everything they can about this programme.
OK, move on, please, to the public bar.
Stay tonight. I want to talk.
No,
We need to.
I don't.
The slow burn deterioration of Den and Angie's marriage reached its peak on Christmas Day 1986 with an envelope that turned Angie's life upside down.
This, my sweet, is a letter from my solicitor telling you that your husband has filed a petition for divorce. Happy Christmas, eh?
It wasn't someone being murdered. It wasn't someone being thrown in a pit. It wasn't a car crash. It was the handing of an envelope.
Mm-hmm. The things she never thought would happen happened. Yeah.
And over 30 million people watched it. Over half the population.
I didn't think about it. I just knew it was a good scene. The scene worked. It was a fantastic scene, very great, you know. And it played well. Everybody was pleased with it. That's all I needed to know.
This episode of EastEnders is still the UK's most watched programme of all time. And Anita's portrayal of Angie Watts, the Queen Vic's first landlady, remains an inspiration.
Let's go and see what's in store.
I've never walked this bit before, I must say.
You've not been down Roadway 2, Anita?
No, I haven't been down Roadway 2.
Viewers and cast members still talk about her and long to see her return to the place that made her name. So, I took her back.
The one and only Anita Dobson.
We've never worked together, but I've watched you all the time.
Ring that bell, Anita.
These are people that normally get stopped in the street and asked for a selfie, and they're queuing up to have their picture with Anita.
Thanks. I can remember sitting on these stairs. And they look so small now. Did I actually sit here and fit?
You did. You sit, you cried, you laughed. And obviously this is where the divorce papers were served, isn't it?
Yeah, right here.
Right here.
Right here.
The orange. The orange. This was Angie's stage.
The Vic is at the heart of EastEnders and central to most of the action.
You got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go?
Right then, who's next?
Say that you are mine.
Some legendary landlords and landladies have walked this hallway onto the stage that is the Queen Vic. What's the matter?
It's nothing.
I know when I ran this place, you were very much aware of those that had come before. You could feel their presence, still do. They were big characters, but they needed to be because the Queen Vic, well, she's a larger-than-life character herself.
Den Watts was the first landlord. It's now George Knight, played by Colin Salmon.
Colin.
Hi, mate. Hi, Ross.
How are you?
Good.
Not bad, my friend.
Yeah, getting there.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
This is the place that most of the storylines develop around, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, because this is where conversations get had. Loose lips, people drink, things get just the truth. That's where often the truth is spoken.
What do you think makes a good landlord, then?
In any community, he's sort of privy to most of the things that are going on, so he becomes a linchpin. It's a very important role. People around here have lost someone they really loved. So, drinks on the house, collection on the bar for a family. He's dealing with people when they come in and maybe a bit low, or a bit isolated, and he sort of makes them feel safe.
That was lovely.
How important is it to have a black landlord of the Queen Vic?
I think it's really important. I think it's he's a very symbolic figure within British culture. So I take that very seriously. I know there's young people watching, looking at life, going, this is an opportunity, this is the thing I could be. When you see it, you can be it.
George Knight and his family are the first black and dual heritage household to run a pub on any UK soap.
The Vic is so iconic, and yeah, it's kind of like walking into a fairy tale. Hello, Father.
Come and join your dad. You're a screen dad.
My on-screen dad, who I always do call Father, by the way. It's just become a thing.
Wait up!
He did tell you to pack light.
He didn't tell us we were taking the tube.
Molly Rainford plays Anna Knight, one of Colin's on-screen daughters. She arrived in 2023 and has become a key part of the show.
What's it like being a young member of this cast?
It's great. Honestly, I feel like EastEnders really champion young characters and young people in this show. We all have our own stories and they all hold just as much weight, which feels like a privilege as a young actor to be able to, you know, not just be a supporting role for a bigger story, but actually to be able to go through those motions yourself.
It's your hair. It's how you dress. It's how you act, all smiles and the butter wouldn't melt. You pass, Anna.
I pass?
Yeah, you could be white.
A recent hard-hitting storyline dealt with colorism, a type of racism where people from the same ethnic group are treated differently because of how light or dark their skin tone is.
How important do you think it was to cover a topic like that?
So important. I mean, you know, we are the first mixed-race family in the Vic, and these are conversations, you know, that happen in every mixed-race family's life, and all of these conversations are so important and so valid, especially right now.
I'm just as black as you, but it's what the world sees. You think you're treated different to me. I know it.
The response I got afterwards was amazing. You know, parents being like, my daughter looks like you, and she had conversations on the playground that day after seeing that, and that feels like a blessing, for sure.
You smashed it as well.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Stories from everyday life are what fuel EastEnders, from overheard conversations to colourful characters. Inspiration can be found in the most unlikely of places.
The seat taken? Oh, hello. How are you?
All right, thank you, darling.
Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
We're all aboard.
Pam St Clement played EastEnders legend Pat Butcher.
Bit pricey, isn't it? Hardly. Yes, look. For a dump like Walford, you're asking.
She arrived in 1986.
Guess who?
Oh, you digging me a star, cool.
Did we know you? It's been a good few years.
That better? It's what's her name? Of course it is.
So it is. If you fancy a cup of tea, I'll be in the cafe.
See ya.
Well, I never.
After all these years.
What's Her Name was only hired for 3 weeks, but her performance as the provocative, often scandalous Pat was so popular, she remained on the show for 26 years.
So, Pam, why are we on a bus?
Oh, it's not just a bus.
It's not just a
No,
bus.
no, no. It's a number 38 bus.
Oh, right.
You see, when I got the part of Pat, like any actor, I decided to do a bit of the homework, and I saw this bus conductress on a number 38 bus, and she was wearing these most dangly earrings, spiky hair around here, and dangly. Oh, hang on, I've brought some with me. Here they are.
Oh my God.
Never go anywhere without them.
No, but that is, isn't it? I mean, it's a statement, isn't it?
Pat always wears the earrings to fit her mood. That's a jolly one.
That's a happy day. I wonder if the woman on the bus ever knew that you based one of the most famous soap characters on her. She probably never knows.
No, she won't. Well, she might now.
She might now. How many earrings did Pat get through?
Let me tell you. You know those toolboxes you can get that fold up? And
And they come out.
Yeah, that's absolutely. I had one of those and a wall bracket with dangling earrings. But the interesting thing is, most of them came from viewers.
Well, they said,
oh, yeah. Oh, I saw these in the market, and I thought, oh, they're absolutely right for Pat.
There's another prize I'd like to present, so I'd be grateful if you could stick around for a minute or two.
Along with her earrings, Pat is remembered for her feud with my on-screen mum, Peggy Mitchell, played by the late Dame Barbara Windsor. Their fights over Frank Butcher, the stuff of legend.
All it remains for me is to present the prizes. Oh. Hope you all enjoyed the fireworks. Good night.
Their love triangle, one of the show's highlights.
That was part and parcel of what was so great about it, particularly the triangle between Frank, Pat and Peggy. It felt very natural.
We had that sort of instant something.
Chemistry.
Yes, there was something about it that you could get in there, and if somebody said to you, this is the aim of this scene, this is what we want you to do in this scene, and we'd play it.
Oh, temper. Anyway, you're nothing to write home about. No wonder Roy can't do it. Dare you! Oh, flaming won't kill ya!
You get off for me!
You take back what you said!
You bitch!
You cow!
Get on, girl. I think she won.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. You won, girl.
But how does it feel looking back at that moment now?
Well, I miss her. I mean, basically. Miss her tremendously.
Yeah.
Oh, my dear friend. You will never leave me, will you?
No, sweetheart. Not for one single second.
Thank you.
Pam, darling, this is my stop.
Oh, bye-bye. Lovely to have seen you.
Lovely to see you again.
Go on, take care.
Love you.
Pat Butcher, a character born on a bus and raised in a soap, is now wedged deep into our popular culture. It shows how a look can establish a character's personality. And something else can also help. A catchy saying or one-liner.
Sausage surprise!
They can add humour.
Do me a favour.
And some live on long after the character has departed.
Hello, Ma.
Get out of my pub.
And then there are those that signify a complete transformation of character, a turning point from which they will never be the same again.
You can't tell me what to do. You ain't my mother. Yes, I am.
Jessie?
Hello?
Hello.
Welcome to Cat's Cabs.
Hello, Cat's Cabs.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine.
It is very impressive.
It's very Arthur Daly, isn't it?
It's a little bit Arthur Daly, yeah.
Cat Slater, played by Jessie Wallace, arrived in 2000.
It's yours, mate.
Quick-tongued and foul-mouthed,
So, did I tell you I like breakfast in bed?
In that case, you better sleep in the kitchen.
Cat is all leopard print leather and lipstick.
Don't wait out, will ya?
Jessie, what's it like to be the person that probably said one of the most iconic lines in soap history?
Well, it's an honour, really. I mean, it's going back 22, 23 years ago. And it's still said to me now. Go on, say it, say it. Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
Explain to me the actual storyline for people that don't know.
At the young age of 13, her Uncle Harry, which was her dad's brother, used to sexually abuse her and got her pregnant.
You really hate me, don't you?
Hate you? No. I just think you're a fat old perv. When the baby was born, she had to give it to her mum. And Zoe grew up thinking that Kat was her sister, and she had to hide that.
For that reveal, how many of everybody involved in this ship, how many people actually knew that you were going to say that line?
No one. Just me and Michelle. That's the thing with this. You've got to keep it top secret, which is also part of the fun of being in this show. I was just supposed to say it. Yes, I am. But I said to the director, no. After 18 years of holding that in, I would scream it out.
Which you did.
And it worked.
Did you realise the impact it was going to have?
No, I didn't. I was getting a lot of fan mail from young girls, which the same had happened to them or was happening to them. Wow. Which was a massive impact and something that it was hard to deal with. So they were passed on to the NSPCC.
I've got a scene I want to show you.
OK.
I just want you to cuddle me. Like I wanted you to cuddle me then. Where were you, Dad?
I was there.
No, you weren't. I needed you so badly then. All I wanted was for you to sit me on your lap and say it didn't matter. And that you still loved me. And everything was going to be all right. But you didn't, did you, Dad? You just looked at me with disgust. Disgust and contempt.
Amazing.
Huh.
How'd you feel looking back at that?
Just feel terribly sorry for her. Just awful. She just wanted to be loved. And her dad sort of like looked the other way. Feels like a million years ago.
Does it?
It's a great scene.
It's a brilliant
scene. I never, I don't watch myself really a lot, but I'm proud of that.
So you should be.
Thank you.
Sorry, girls. Didn't mean to scare you.
When I first joined EastEnders in the 1990s, the public's reaction to certain storylines was very different from now. What was considered controversial then is considered less so today. And I think that's partially because of the issues that EastEnders has covered.
Have you had sex since you think you may have been exposed?
What do you think?
Sorry, you are HIV positive.
A major recent storyline for the character Zach Hudson is drawing attention to the stigma around HIV.
Farah, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you, mate.
Yeah,
How are
nice
you?
to see you
Good to
too.
see you. You well?
Yeah, good.
Played by James Farah, Zach first popped onto our screens in March 2021.
Sharon, by the way.
Zach.
Kathy.
Two beautiful sisters here to say goodbye. He's a lovable rogue, cheeky chappy, but underneath it all, he's insecure. Makes some real mistakes, but then kind of makes up for it through having a really good heart.
Ah, he needed rescuing and cleaned up before Whitney sees him.
Known for his colourful love life,
I don't know where to look, Mum. Get him a towel.
Linda, I've had sex on this couch.
Oh, Zach.
the HIV diagnosis took Zach's story in a very different direction.
It came from an idea of straight people can't catch HIV, which is just incredible. Quite clearly, that's what wasn't where I was, but I certainly didn't realise how effective treatment was. And this is one thing that'll always stick with me, and it was within the writing, but again, not shoved down our throats. It was undetectable means untransmittable. I never knew that. So as long as you get on top of your medication, you can then have a sexual partner and not pass it on.
Tell me about how your character contracted it.
Sharing needles because we were injecting at the gym, steroid abuse.
Steroids.
For Zach's story, the EastEnders team worked closely with the UK's leading HIV and sexual health charity, the Terence Higgins Trust.
The Terence Higgins Trust came out with stats that was a 75% rise in website visits straight after that episode. It's something that our show does so fantastically, is bringing issue-led drama to our TVs, so we're bringing conversations out every single evening.
I swear, because I was ignorant, I honestly thought that I couldn't get HIV. And now I'm facing up to my prejudice and I'm learning, and you lot will do too one day.
What the hell are you doing here?
We're having a drink.
Oh, no, you're not. You're leaving right now.
I'm halfway through serving it. Why are you doing this?
You've got AIDS, Mark. And I won't have that sort of thing in my pub.
I haven't got AIDS.
Over 30 years before Zach's HIV storyline, another EastEnder went on a similar journey.
What they call HIV.
HIV?
Mark Fowler was the first mainstream character on British television to be diagnosed with HIV, and 18 million viewers watched as he told his parents. This groundbreaking storyline changed opinion when fear and misinformation was rife. The impact that EastEnders has can affect us in unexpected ways, even on our national sport.
Let's look at tonight's match with Liverpool.
In April 2001, some of football's biggest stars had to wait patiently in their changing rooms.
Our commentary this evening starts in about 15 minutes' time.
The UEFA Cup semi-final between Liverpool and Barcelona was delayed by 15 minutes.
And it wasn't because of bad weather. It was all because of my on-screen brother, Phil.
UEFA delayed the match so we could watch EastEnders.
There's a man that lives in my neighborhood.
And find out who had tried to kill Phil Mitchell.
He gets me down. He gets in so late at night.
The tabloids were awash with speculation. Who pulled the trigger? They even revisited the crime scene, listing the suspects, their motives, and their movements just before the shooting. It was a good old-fashioned whodunit, nothing new there. But what was new was the amount of publicity it generated. Papers ran stories about it. Cast members appeared on chat shows discussing the likely culprit. You could even place a bet on who done it.
What a week in TV it's been. We've all been trying to work out who shot Phil Mitchell. Mr. Jupiter's here thinks it's Tamsin Outhwaite, and Julian's fingered Martin Kemp.
Well, they say a criminal always returns to the scene of the crime. So, why did you shoot my brother?
Wasn't me.
Was you?
It wasn't the bush. It was me.
How are you?
All right, Don, how are you?
What?
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
Let's have a look. What's...
It was a massive storyline, wasn't it? I mean, it was. There you are.
Yeah.
Lucy Benjamin played Lisa Fowler, one of Albert Square's most likeable characters. She was known for being Phil Mitchell's long-suffering girlfriend.
Feel better?
No, I'm fine now.
We're all told that we were suspects in a big storyline of who shot Phil, but none of us at the point of being told that were told who actually was going to be the culprit. So we all had to do about, 6 or 8 weeks of acting like not knowing if it was us, so you didn't know whether to play guilty or not, which I think actually was a masterstroke. People suspected me the least.
That's right, Phil. I tried to kill you. And you know what? I enjoyed it. I pulled that trigger. And it thrilled me.
The abuse that your character received from Phil was quite extreme, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of the Lisa and Phil...
Domestic abuse.
It was domestic abuse, yeah. And in terms of the build-up with Lisa and Phil as their storyline, it was all about that coercive control, which then develops into physical abuse, which is... They're hard stories to tell. And at the time, I don't know whether there was much of that going on the box, and EastEnders wasn't afraid to tackle that.
She's soiled goods these days. Still, all I have to do is click my fingers.
She felt worthless at that point. She'd got nothing left to live for. That's what I feel like. She may as well have done it because her life was worth nothing at that point. She had nothing to lose.
What was it like for you on the streets at that point?
I think people used to pat me on the back, really, because I think, because I think they disliked Phil so much. I remember once in a supermarket, somebody saying to me, didn't do a very good job, should have finished him off. I mean, people loved it.
Hey, you want me to do it, dear?
Yeah. Go on. Put me out my misery.
Over 20 million of us tuned in to watch Phil confront his would-be assassin.
What's the matter? Can't you cut it no more?
Proving this truly was a national event, last night's episode sparked the third biggest power surge on record.
The winner is the shooting of Phil Mitchell.
The hype around Who Shot Phil was something new for a British soap. EastEnders used a marketing campaign to boost interest in a storyline which became a national and award-winning event. Whodunits are something the show has returned to again and again.
Yeah.
The latest is currently being filmed here in the Queen Vic.
We're celebrating the 40th anniversary with another Whodunit storyline. It's a nod to the first episode. It's a nod to what the show was kind of built from. I'm sorry. You go. That's all right, it's fine.
The victim of the latest Whodunit is one of EastEnders' most well-known characters, who I've been told is now in wardrobe.
Hello, Joe. How are you, mate?
How you doing?
Good to see you. Well,
hello, yeah.
Yeah, do the 40th documentary, mate.
Oh, amazing. Oh,
I'll see you in a bit. I'll see you in a bit, mate. So this is wardrobe. Brings back some memories. This is where I used to do my quick changes. Oh, hello. Hello, gorgeous. So, Michelle, centre of the big reveal for the 40th. How's that feel?
It's kind of an honour, I suppose, to be doing something for the 40th.
Pivotal.
Which is pivotal. Yeah, and it is a great storyline. So yeah, I'm happy. You man enough to come for a burn-up? I'll take it slow.
Don't be cheeky.
Michelle Collins plays Cindy Beale, who first appeared on our screens in 1988. And she's been flirting, flaunting it and scheming ever since.
People love to hate her. She's unapologetic. She's not a submissive kind of character. She is guided by her emotions, and I think she pisses off a lot of people and doesn't apologise.
Once a slapper, always a slapper. None of my... Come on, gents, form an order queue. Looks like she's open for business again.
When you get to kind of your mid-40s, it changes. It definitely changes for women. And I don't think it changes so much for men. You start playing the mum or the best
auntie.
friend or the auntie or the granny. So it's great that soaps are embraced, particularly EastEnders, are embracing that. You know, yes, she's a middle-aged woman, but why can't middle-aged women have their own lives? Strangely, there is a lot of lace going on here.
There is a bit.
A lot of button. We do, because obviously we're pre-watershed. We can't really do too much kind of sex stuff. What do you think?
Nice.
Yeah, I've got a bit of a gift for fashion. Though lingerie I find really hard. It's hard to judge online. Might need a second opinion.
Cheers.
Cheers.
The matriarchs of 1985 are very different to the ones of 2025.
I mean, a woman of my age probably would be, well, Pauline Fallon in a cardigan. Smoking a fang. Oh, yeah, all right, you know, like in the laundrette, watching the washing machine going
not
around.
seducing a man
I refuse.
half her age.
No, and I'm not wearing a blooming cardigan. I mean, I refuse to wear an apron in Beals Heels. Cindy doesn't wear aprons. Before you go, Ross, I've got something to show you.
OK. Oh, my
So there you
word,
go.
I can see the name
What's
on
that
it.
say?
I don't think I'll be able
When was
to
the
get
last
into
time
it.
you put on that, Ross?
Long time ago. Could you help me? Oh, do you know what? I think
it does fit.
Oh, my word. What does that say? Grant Mitchell.
Is back. Doof, 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 yes.
When I began making this documentary, I didn't know I would be dusting off Grant Mitchell's leather jacket and returning to the show. But I am. Grant's back.
Over the past few months, I've realised what an impact EastEnders has had on my life, on the other people that work here, and on its viewers. EastEnders has tackled some difficult subjects. It's changed hearts and minds, and it's reflected an ever-changing society. All the while entertaining millions of people. And that is why I am very proud to be a part of its 40th anniversary.
Ready for you on set, Ross?
Here I come.
OK, ladies and gents, nice and quiet, thank you. Here we go, let's turn over, please. We're turning. And action.
Romeo